Hi folks, welcome to Set Apart Homestead, the Prepared Homestead. Showing you today how to grind your own flour. This is something that, or at least this wheat is something that a lot of preppers talk about. Well, you should buy wheat and store it up. And that's great because wheat berries, which is how it comes before it's flour, the little grains, kind of like rice, are actually quite cheap. But then what do you do with it? And so you have all these people that's got bags and bags of wheat berries, but they're not really sure what to do with it. This is certainly one option, and it's an option that I kind of prefer, and this is a manual flour mill. This one comes from a company, I have to look because I keep forgetting, called Nazko Manufacturing. This is called the Sunshine Nugget. Now, I'm not getting any kind of benefit for talking about this. I'm not getting paid, nothing free. This is something that we purchased and really enjoy it. And so, and it's also pretty cheap compared to a lot of the mills that you find out there on the market. And you have to be really careful because there's a lot of things that's come out of China that are called flour mills, and basically all they do is crack corn. You will never ever get flour out of them, no matter how many times. They're not designed to make flour. So no matter how many times you run them through, you're not going to get flour out of them. So if you see these ones online that are maybe $20 or $30 advertising them as a flour mill, you're not going to get flour, and I guarantee you they're not going to last very long. It takes a pretty strong mechanism to take these very, very hard berries and grind them into a workable flour, which is why flour mills, home flour mills, are not cheap. This is definitely one of the cheaper ones in price, but not really quality. And you can find electric ones, and those are fine. This one is a manual one, but you can put a flywheel on it and an electric motor to make it electrified. But I like to have something that has a manual ability, just in case there is no electricity at some point. And that is what we have here. Now, to go into the details of this one, it is manufactured in the United States. It's a small company that makes these, and their basic one, which is what this is, starts out at $149. It's not painted. You can pay extra to have the painted model. I figured for $20 more, I can spray paint the thing myself if I want to. And I don't mind it just being the bare metal. It comes with stone grinding stones, but you can add, for an extra amount of money, you can get metal ones that are good for like cracking corn, grinding coffee. So we also purchase those, and then you can get a mounting plate like this to mount it where it's easy to screw on and off, and that's extra. But you can get all that I have here for around $200, which is quite reasonable because some of the other grinding mills, flour mills like that are hand crank and good quality, can easily start out at $400 and go well over $1,000. So $200 for a flour mill that has a lifetime warranty. The other flour mill company, I'm trying to remember the name. I think it's maybe Wonder Mill or something like that. It's a manual one. It doesn't even have a lifetime warranty, and this one does. And they've been in business for about 40 years. So I think they've got from what I have read, have a pretty good reputation and stand behind their product, which is important. Now, talking about the actual flour, a lot of people don't know that flour does not have a very long shelf life. It goes rancid very quickly. Even if you keep it out of sun and air and bugs, the flour still breaks down and really only has about a 6 to 9 month shelf life of it. But wheat berries, which is the grain that flour comes from, can easily last 30 to 40 years if properly stored. And they're much, much cheaper than purchasing flour. Flour isn't expensive, but wheat berries is a lot cheaper. And so when we're able to, we purchase wheat berries and store them in 5-gallon buckets with Mylar bags. Now this one doesn't have any Mylar because this is our working bucket. And I usually, once we open a bag, that becomes our working bucket. The rest of them are all in Mylar bags and buckets stored elsewhere. We're out here in the shop today, and grinding this up, and I just wanted to show you how easy it is. Depending on how strong you are, it's not that hard to crank, but depending on the person, you can get about a cup of flour every 5 minutes or so. And I'm finding it doesn't have to be run back through a second time. This thing will grind it quite fine, almost to the consistency of cake flour. So some of them you have to run them back through a second or third time to really grind it down to a fine consistency, but not with this one. And that also is impressive. Like I said, you can purchase a flywheel to put on this, get an electric motor if you want to make this electric, or if you're like me and you have lots of kids, you just get them out here and you get them to grinding away on this. This is an excellent food source, an excellent way to very cheaply store up calories in the future, and then you have a grinding mill like this so that you can have your own flour whenever. You're not dependent upon a system to have flour only to get the wheat, and depending on where you get it, you can purchase it sometimes in feed stores. The last purchase we made of wheat was from an LDS store. They had 25-pound bags of it for a pretty good price, and we picked up several of them. So, having flour to make bread is quite important for a lot of people. This thing will also grind up other things. So, you know, if you have maybe some sorghum that you want to make a sorghum flour, this will work for that also. Various other things that you can make flour if you want to make like a gluten-free flour and you get the whole grain. This thing will certainly grind those into a flour also. I will go ahead and leave a link to this in the description below. Again, I'm not getting anything for it. I just think it's a really good product, something that every homestead and prepper should have, even if you don't use it. It's cheap enough to have the thing stored away in a box for those what-if moments that you need to, you know, grind your flour, and maybe your flour mill went out, or the power has gone out, or an EMP, or some kind of, you know, grid failure, and you've got, you know, 1,000 pounds of wheat berries sitting around, and now you can't, you know, grind it because your mill needs electricity and maybe you don't have it for a while. This one will take care of that. Even though it's a little slower, takes some work, you know, you might end up having big old Popeye arms when you're done, but you can certainly have flour to make your bread. All right, I hope I answered all the questions. If you have any more questions, let me know. And like I said, I'll try to leave a link to this product in the description below. All right, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.